Welcome to Insights into a Soul, the podcast that no one asked for. This is a podcast about life, love, and everything in between. So grab a cup of coffee and relax, and join me as we gain insights into a soul. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Insights into a Soul, the podcast where we talk about life, love, and everything in between, because there's a lot. I am your host, Torin. I am back this week with a solo episode. Lots going on in life. I think I've updated you guys, but I signed a lease on a new place, so I will be moving next month in June. A little excited about that, but also a little heartbroken, moving out of the place my first home that I purchased and lived here for just over 6 years. But it's time. It's time to move. It's time to start fresh. I think this is an opportunity for me to start new, start clean, getting a lot of new furniture and just kind of making this place my own. So it's an opportunity I'm looking forward to. On the plus side, my kids will be closer and I'll have more opportunities to see them. So that's a huge win. So this week has been not a bad week, but personally a little bit difficult. With the transition coming, a lot of thoughts of my ex have been resurfacing and, kind of playing things over and over in my mind, which is dangerous, honestly. I don't intentionally think about the past or what's happened, but my dreams lately have been about the situation I'm in, kind of replaying what went down and how it went down, which kind of sucks. But that's life. I think that's part of trauma. That's dealing with things. Our bodies, our minds, our hearts are going to work through it and in their own time. You can't force it, obviously. You can't really change the way it happens either. I mean, there's no exact formula to this whole situation. But this week, I wanted to talk about a phrase that's really close to me. It actually comes from an anime. I'm a nerd, but it comes from an anime called My Hero Academia, which is one of my favorite animes. I just love the characters. And one of the main characters is All Might. And he's like the big hero in the story. I mean, they're all heroes, but he's like the big, everyone looks up to him. He's what they call the symbol of peace. And he's always got a smile on his face. And he has a really interesting backstory, which I don't want to spoil because I think the anime is worth watching. But there's a phrase that UA High School and All Might use, and it says, go beyond plus ultra. And I always thought this was an interesting phrase because it's grounded in some real-world history. If I remember correctly, it comes from way back in the 1600s, maybe earlier. But it was the whole concept of to go beyond what you think you know, to go beyond what is in front of you or where you think your limit is. And in the anime, they've kind of adopted that whole angle of when you think you've reached your limit, push yourself to go beyond. So go plus ultra. And it means to go beyond what you think you can handle, what you think you're capable of, what you think your limits are. And in my life, with this strange time and this transition, I think that phrase has been even more relevant to me than ever before. I started watching the anime before all this happened, and so that theme stuck out to me, and All Might as a character stuck out to me because his whole thing is he's the symbol of peace. He's the number one hero that everybody looks up to, and he's got to be strong, and he's got to be the best, and he's got to push forward. Always having a smile on his face. And as you watch the show, you realize that he doesn't always have a smile. He hurts inside. There's people that he can't save that he wishes he could. There's things he wish he could do that he can't. But he puts on the smile to give people hope, to give people a symbol to look to, because if they can see a smile, if they see that you're still smiling, even in this tough time, in the shows when villains are attacking, when things are at their worst, if you can continue to smile and push on, you can inspire others around you. You can be that symbol. You can give them that hope that they're looking for. So I love this character because, he talks about that. He talks about, even though he has all this pain, he chooses to smile through the pain. He chooses to not put on a face, not be fake, but really it is this drive inside of him to really to inspire others, to spread hope, to spread happiness, and to be that smile that people can look up to. Because oftentimes, we're all going through storms, we're all going through tough times, and in those tough times, sometimes you need that symbol, you need that person or thing you can look to that will inspire you, that will give you hope, that will help you to keep going. I know for me, in this time, there's been those friends of mine that have, been the smile, been that symbol of hope for me to help me push on and to move forward, even in what I thought could be a world-ending situation for me. There's times when I felt like my world's ending. I think we all encounter things. It doesn't have to be relationships, but it can be challenges and hurdles that we face in our life where we feel like our world is ending. Our world is crashing down around us. And we don't think we can take any more. I know I've thought it, and I know other people have thought it, that, we feel like we've reached the end of the road. We've reached the end of our rope, and we can't push on anymore. There's no more left in the tank. There's no more fight left. There's no more gas. And oftentimes in these stories of revival, of survival, of pushing on, there's a person, there's something, there's a symbol that gave us hope to rise up, to continue, to press on. And so I guess that's the message today. It's, for me, I thought that there was some points where I've gotten to, and I still even have feelings, I still have these moments where I struggle and I wonder how I can carry on, how I can live my life in this new state, how I can press on in this new and exist in this new stage of life. One hand I look at it as it's a positive, because it's a chance for me to start over, start fresh. My ex and I, we obviously weren't working out anymore, and it's not that neither of us are bad people. It's just we outgrew each other. It was time for us to move on. We were growing in different directions, and I couldn't grow anymore being with her. She couldn't grow anymore being with me. And so it was the necessary course for us to take. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that I'm okay. I think there's still a lot of times and a lot of thoughts when something happens in our life, something, you work hard for something and you don't get that job that you've been pursuing, or you're trying to create something and it just doesn't work out. There's so many different levels of disappointment, of things not working that we experience in life. And like I said, it's not just relationships. It's, it can be stuff related to a job, related to friends, related to a hobby you have or something you want to pursue. And you feel defeated. You feel like, man, I've got nothing left. There's no way for me to do this, or I don't know if I can take any more. Go beyond, plus ultra, guys. Plus ultra should be a mantra to when you've reached your limit, when you think you're going to break, or maybe you've broken, when you don't think you can handle anymore. Dig down deep inside of yourself and challenge yourself to go beyond what you think your limits are, to go beyond. And this applies to so many things. It doesn't even have to be negative things. It can be positive things. You're pushing yourself physically to achieve a goal. Push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, and find that new level. Find that resurgence inside of you, that new life to go beyond, to achieve a new level. Like I said, there's times even still where I question what's going on in my life and if I'll ever be able to recover and move forward. And then I remember that I can, and I will, and I am, and I have. And you have to look back at the progress you've made. You have to reflect. You have to stop sometimes and take a look at where you are, who you are, how you are right now, and look at who you were and how you were back then with whatever situation. And it doesn't even have to be at the beginning of a bad situation. You can be in a good situation and look back and see how much you've grown in the time that you've been doing what you're doing, that you've been pursuing. It could be a positive thing. You've grown in this time. Look back at that. look back and see how you've changed, how you've grown, how you've developed, how you become better. You become a better person. You become better at skill. You become better in so many different ways. Or if it is heartbreaking, look at what kind of person you were back then. Gauge it against what kind of person you are now. Have you grown? Have you learned from your errors? You know, we all make mistakes. And those mistakes, fortunately, don't define us as a person. We have the opportunity to change and to become better versions of ourselves. So, you know, we might have made mistakes. We might have hurt people. We apologize and we move on. We apologize and we move on. We love, we forgive, we ask for forgiveness. And sometimes you have to ask yourself for forgiveness. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to say, hey, it's okay. You messed up. But it's not the end. It doesn't define you. Only if we get stuck in those patterns do they define us. But if we choose to become better, to move on, to grow, well, then we can't be defined by our past. And so I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm at this point where I'm really having to remind myself to actively look back and think about where I was and where I am now. I don't know what the future looks like, and I'm not going to waste my time worrying about the future. I can do things to hopefully set myself up for a better future, but I'm not going to, you know, dwell on my errors. I'm going to learn from them, you know, and I believe that I am a better person now than I was back then. I've learned. I made mistakes, and in the heartbreak, I've been able to open myself up and see where I messed up. And in listening, in conversations, I learned what I did wrong in that situation. And I'm learning how to be better, how to improve, how to move forward. And I believe I'm a better person now than I was back then. I believe I'm a better person now than when this whole situation started. I have a different outlook on life. I have a different mentality. You know, I approach things differently. I'm smarter. I'm more, I don't want to say more cautious, but I think through things better. And I'm more aware of who I am and what I'm doing. By no means perfect, and I'm still growing and learning, but I'm just more aware, more conscious of everything. So that's my challenge to you this week. Good or bad, whatever's going on in your life, stop, take a look at where you are, take a look at where you were, and see the progress that you've made, and celebrate that progress. Celebrate the successes. Celebrate the fact that you've grown, that you've achieved, even if it's small achievements, it's still an achievement. It's still growth. It's still moving forward. You know, the expression, you know, it's we're not running. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's so true, because life and so much of what we pursue is a marathon. It doesn't end right away. You know, you're pursuing a project or something. It's not necessarily a sprint. There'll be moments of that, but you know, we're in this for the long game. And personal development, personal growth, it's a marathon. We're never going to arrive at a specific destination, because we're always going to be constantly evolving, growing, and changing. But we can consistently improve ourselves, and not based off the standards of the world, but based off of our standards. You know, what does success look like to you? What does personal growth and development look like to you? You know, define that. So look at where you are, and look at where you were, and celebrate what you've accomplished and where you've come from. That's what I'm working on. And again, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have rough nights. You're going to lay awake, not being able to sleep some nights. You're going to have nightmares. You're going to relive situations in your head. I can't control my dreams, but I've had nightmares where I'm reliving the situations. I can't control that, but I can control how I come out of it, what happens after the fact. So, I guess that's the message today. Short podcast, simple, sweet, to the point, but I just feel like it's something that somebody out there needs to hear. Even if it's just myself, I need to hear it. I need to remind myself that I'm okay, that I'm doing better, that I'm improving, that things are moving forward. Life will throw stuff at you. but those challenges, those stumbles, the pain is only temporary. What we do from that is what lives on with us. And fortunately, it doesn't last forever. So just know that if you're in a rough spot, if you're going through a hard time, if you're feeling depressed or stressed or worn out at the end of your rope, it's not going to last forever. Go beyond, plus ultra. Push yourself to go beyond what you think your limits are. And if you ever need to talk, I'm here. I'm on Instagram, @TorinH. Send me an email, insightsintoasoul@gmail.com. You can find me on any social platform, but I am here to talk to you if you ever need to just vent or get something off your chest or whatever it may be. You know, you feel like you can't talk to anybody about it, talk to me. I'm here for you. So until next week, make sure you like, subscribe. Please drop a comment or a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Those are always appreciated. As I said, you can go to insightsintoasoul.com. Check out the website. Check out the blog. You can get in touch with me there. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you guys are what keep me going. Your encouragement, your support, your friendships. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, see you guys. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insights into a Soul. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and to share it with your friends. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Insights into a Soul, on Instagram, @TorinH, and if you have suggestions for future episodes or topics, or if you'd like to be on the podcast, contact us, insightsintoasoul@gmail.com.